एंड वो दिखा रहे हैं कि YouTube पे there are 8 waiting.
Now, what is the problem? Everything is still going on well. In fact, यहाँ पे ना stream भी शुरू हो गया है.
Let me check.
काफी अभी आ रहा है.
अच्छा रुकिए, मैं इसको मैसेज भेज रही हूँ भास्कर को.
Pafia, now we can see our screen online. It is live.
हाँ, it is live, no? It takes some time, I think. Animal, just check we are live or what.
Yes, ma'am, we are live now. I can see the screen.
Great. So Animal, why can't you see? Check it out.
Okay, now
We are live, no?
fine now.
Okay, listen, give them the link to WebEx if they want to join as an attendee. All right? Yeah. Sure, then let me know when we should start.
As soon as Aminul shares the link for WebEx, I think we can wait for a minute and then get started.
Yeah.
Aminul, you are sharing the link, right?
Yes, ma'am. Just a minute. I can share that YouTube
I was
link.
calling you only, Animal. I didn't know you're here also and there also.
Okay.
I was trying to reach you through phone. Last time I was at both places and there was an echo. So I am not going to go on that YouTube today. Maybe from my phone I can go.
Animal, are you sharing the link with
Yes, sir. Just
GKS ID? YouTube?
yes, sir.
Okay.
I have shared the link already in YouTube. So anyone from YouTube, you can join through the link to be in webinar.
Animal, I sent you the link again. Huh? It is a register link. See in your WhatsApp. Have you sent the same one? If not, send the same one.
Yes, ma'am.
Same, na? Yeah, okay. So there are now 20 people on, I think, YouTube. I have started that from my phone. So I think it is 2:05 and we always have a recording. So we can go ahead, is it?
I think so, Bhavya.
Fine then. So let's go.
Ma'am, you can start and people will keep joining, no problem.
Yeah, we will start, I think. Fine. Yeah. So a very good afternoon to all the students and our viewers from YouTube who are attending the bootcamp live. I welcome you all on behalf of the CSR Jigyasa Mahotsav 2022. As you know, we are celebrating the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the 75 years of India's independence, and as part of the celebrations, we have organized the Jigyasa Vigyan Mahotsav 2022, which is also through which we are celebrating the national level scientific creativity competition. This is specially curated to provide opportunity to school students to exhibit their creative skills and also develop their scientific knowledge as well as content creation abilities. It is open to students of class 8th standard to 12th standard and the competition is available in English and Hindi. We have completed the first boot camp successfully, which comprised of various contemporary themes on science and technology areas. The second boot camp was on building creatives by mentoring students. Today is the last topic under the Creative Building Bootcamp 2, which is the animation. So thank you students for registering in large numbers and visiting our Jigyasa platform to know more about it. So today we will be concentrating on the Bootcamp 2 animation mentoring, and tomorrow stay tuned with us again at 11 o'clock on the Jigyasa YouTube channel, and we will be doing the hand-holding workshop. So without further delay, I would like to invite my colleague Dr. Anshu Bhardwaj, Senior Principal Scientist from IMTech Chandigarh, who will take it forward. Anshu, over to you.
Thanks, Bhavya, and a very warm welcome for our participants from the colder parts of India. So what we are going to do, as Bhavya told you, is that we are doing a mentoring workshop today, and we are doing a hand-holding workshop tomorrow because animation is a very involved activity. So you need to actually understand first what are the steps involved, and then we'll show you how to go about actually doing it. Now, as for infographics or comics or any creative, the most important thing is to understand the concept behind it. And that is when you try to communicate it in a creative fashion. So that is why we have 3 mentors with us. And we'll start our bootcamp 2 on animation with the first mentor. She is Dr. Ipsa Jain. Dr. Jain did her PhD in molecular biology and oncology from the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. And she has worked on cancer cell migration and cancer drug resistance. So you know that she's a hardcore scientist. But I would like to call her a dreamer because she not just in addition to science, she has a passion for communicating science in pictures and animations. And now she is here with us to teach us how to do that in a very creative fashion. I would also like to mention that she launched her own initiative, which is known by the name IPSA Wonders in 2016. And she has been engaged for several years in creating visually rich stories of science. And that is what we expect all of you to do. Learn from our mentors as much as you can. They have a lot to tell you. Imbibe all that they tell you and utilize these kind of interactions to create visual impact. You know, the visual impact is the most influencing one. So use these discussions today and tomorrow to come up with your own creative versions of animation. So with that brief discussion, I would like to invite Dr. Ipsa Jain to start her mentoring session.
Thank you for for the invitation and for such a warm introduction. Can you enable sharing? I seem to not have it right now. Are you able to see my screen? Right.
Yes.
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
So, hi everyone. I hope you have enjoyed your boot camps so far, and what you learned today will also be interesting and fun to you. Maybe some of you interacted with me during the infographic workshop as well. So I'm going to just briefly introduce you to the idea of storytelling. I think in your first session on comics as well, maybe there was a brief discussion on storytelling and storyboarding, and these are things that you will probably also end up hearing about today. Um, Essentially, in this, the idea is that we take the content and then we try to visualize it. We know what's the story we want to tell, and then how do we imagine it in pictures. That's the conversation we want to have today. So before we go ahead, maybe some of you want to tell me if you watch any animated videos or videos in general, and what are those videos that you want, you watch. Maybe some of you can share your responses in the chat, and Anshu here can tell me what those responses are. It's okay if they're not science videos or if they're just animated shows. I just want to understand that if you watch any animated, shows, whether or not they are from science, for about science or not.
Yeah, so IPSA, on the online YouTube, there is a response which says they would like to watch Talking Tom and Friends.
Okay. All right. So a lot of you have probably sort of grown up watching at least one or the other cartoon, if not like everything that was out there. And so you have an idea of what animation can look like and what animation does. So animation is essentially much like movies, moving pictures that tell us a story. And in the context of our conversation today, they are stories of science. Yeah, there are a lot of animated movies also that you might have seen, whether it's from Disney or Pixar. And so they also use animation to tell stories which resonate with a lot of us, right? So why would we need videos or animations or motion graphics and visual effects and all of these tools as well to tell stories? Like Anshu was mentioning just a little while ago, animations like moving pictures are engaging. Pictures in general, visuals in general are quite engaging. And what happens with the static images, which can be overcome with animation, is that you can show dynamics, not just dynamics of the process that you are describing. You can show change in time, what happens across different in different spaces and different times. So you have additional capability to tell a lot of material in a smaller span of time. If you were to write that down as an essay, then it would probably read like a 6-page long essay, which means everybody may or may not want to read. But if you put that into a 1-minute video or a 2-minute video, there's a higher likelihood that you will pay attention and your audience will also pay attention. Right. If I mean, there can be more arguments that can be made in, support of moving media, sequential media. Now I'm just going to just give me a second, stop sharing this part of the screen and share something else. What we are going to do is watch a video which was made in collaboration with scientists at CCMB, Science Communicators at CCMB Hyderabad, which is also a CSIR institute, and an animation team. And I was also part of the creative team that worked on this.
Organisms or microbes such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, algae, and protozoa are found around us in soil, air, water, on our bodies, and even inside our bodies. But are they also in places where we might not survive? Such as the hot springs, where temperatures are as high as 950 degrees Celsius, the deep oceans, where there is no oxygen, the icy lands around the Earth's poles, or high above the Earth's atmosphere.
Dr. Shivaji, the Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology and his team set out on a journey to explore the microbial world. They looked for microbes in the most extremes of the climates. Their early expeditions were to some of the coldest places on Earth's poles, Antarctica and Arctic Circle. They carried with them sample collection bags, food used for growing common microbes, sterile dishes to grow these on, an incubator to maintain an optimum temperature for microbes to grow, a simple microscope to look at the microbes, and a refrigerator to store the samples. They dug and collected ice, soil, and water sample from various depths of Earth. They put some of the samples on the microbial food in the dishes they carried with them and grew some of the microbes. But they didn't have enough food and dishes to check all their samples. Also, they didn't have the right food for all the kinds of microbes these samples contained. So, they brought the samples to the Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology and further investigated them there. The scientists tried these samples on different microbial growth media and waited for days. After about 2 weeks, they saw bacteria growing on some of the media. Unlike our cells, these bacteria had quite a few superpowers. Most of these could grow on simple nutrients like glucose as carbon source and proteins as nitrogen source. They grew well at freezing temperatures. They also found bacteria that formed spores to escape unfavorable conditions. They found these bacteria were resistant against UV radiation. They also observed bacteria in Antarctica are more colored than other commonly found bacteria. The pigmentation and cell membrane composition of these bacteria probably protect them against UV and freezing temperatures. Their next quest was to look for presence of microbes in the sky, 20 to 40 kilometers above the Earth's surface. This region is called the stratosphere. Here air is thin, and we humans cannot breathe on our own. The scientists used hot air balloons to trap air in the stratosphere into sterile stainless tubes. They brought these tubes with air samples to the Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology. They identified fungal and bacterial species, some of them even new ones that were also UV resistant. They continued their explorations in the depths of the oceans and the glaciers in the mighty Himalayas to look for newer microbes with unique characteristics. Many scientists in India also followed suit. Each newly discovered microbe from these extreme weather conditions is a treasure house of special properties. Maybe one day, the UV-resistant properties can be used for making sunscreens and microbial pigments as food colors. This is in addition to the hundreds of microbes we use in food and drinks, pharmaceutical and biotech industries. And who knows what more unique microbes with interesting and useful properties we can find as we discover the millions of hidden microbes. They're all waiting for explorers like you. Are you ready to start your explorations in the microbial world? Presented to you.
All right. So now the question is, I hope you were all able to hear the video. Yeah, I should have asked that question sooner. Right. So the question now is that we saw this video. Based on your understanding, what was the story? Like, what was the main key theme of the story? Can anyone in the audience give me an answer? And I'll write it here.
So we have Vanshika, Pallavi, and Naga on the call. So, guys, do you get the essence of the story that Ipsa is trying to tell us?
Okay, let me move forward for the for the sake of time. But in case you have any more ideas, then feel free to drop them in the chat and we can discuss them. So looking at newer microscope. microbes in harsh landscapes, right? So this was about like searching for new kinds of microbes in ice under the glaciers, in the stratosphere, and other such unexplored spaces, right? Then who was this story made for? Like it was made for school children of your age. So, grade 8 to grade 12, that's literally the audience that we had in mind when we made this video, right? Then why do we need to share this story? So for us, the intention was to inspire young students to also think of science as a career, right? So now what we just discussed is our content. What is our content? uh, who is our audience, and why is our motivation, like why do we want to tell that content to this particular audience. So that's something that you always have to be aware of whenever you make any science communication piece and not just the video. So you have to get that clarity, and once you have that clarity that this is the story I have to tell this person or this kind of public or this kind of community, because of so and so reason, you are started as a communicator. You are doing like following the right process, right? So now once you have the story, like what is it that you want to tell, uh, we can start thinking about how to take that content and then bring them to words. So let's think about how do we start that process. So first you need a script, a body of text which communicates the message in a language that your audience will understand. So the writing that you do for a video is very different from the writing you do for like an article, because uh, lack of time will not discuss that, but I would recommend that you listen to a lot of animated stories, and from there you will start appreciating that what's the difference in how the story is being narrated versus how you might write that as an essay, or for example, if it was just a written essay. So even the video series that this CCMB has put together will give you a very good clue as to how writing is different. So this writing either becomes the story of your visuals, and there are videos in which you might have a person speaking behind or a person speaking in front. Like in the video we saw, there was an animated girl who was kind of the storyteller of that video. She asked a lot of questions. In some cases, the person might be there and an animation might be in the background, and the person tells the story. In the video we saw also, like there were segments of the video where a person was speaking, but we didn't see any person on the screen, but animated content was moving across the video. Uh, so it can be so, but you still need to write what your story is, whether or not there is a narration, or whether or not there is a character, animated or real person narrating it, or whether the voiceover is happening and there is no character on the screen. And in some cases your video might not even have a sound based narration but might have text on screen. So in either case, you need to start with a body of text so that you know that this is the order of information that I need to convey. And based on your medium, you can figure out how, whether it will be text on screen or a voiceover or a narrator. And so once you have your text, what do we do now? So what I'm going to do is just do a little mock exercise with you, and I'm hoping that maybe this time you will give me some responses. So this is a piece, a piece of text that was written by Dr. Somdatta Karak for a video that was made in the same series, based on work of Dr. Manjula Reddy at CCMB Hyderabad. So it reads the answer. So there is a preceding text and there is a text that comes after it. And let's not worry about that right now. Just like let's look at this piece of text. It reads, the answer lies in the bacterial cell wall. The cell wall of a bacterium is like a coat made by the bacterium around itself. It protects the bacterial cell from its environment and predators. In fact, damage to the cell wall can kill the bacterium. So scientists want to understand the details of how cell walls are formed and maintained in bacteria. So this paragraph establishes that we are interested in bacterial cell wall. We want to describe what a bacterial cell wall means and what its function is, and why the scientists in question are interested in this particular entity, which is the cell wall. So how we can go about figuring out how to visualize this by using this tool called the 3-column script. A lot of movies are written like this, a lot of animated videos are written like this, where you take the narration and then you can break it up however you like. Like, there are rules also on how to break it up, but it's okay. We don't have to worry about that for our session today. So what you have to think is, like, if a line is being spoken, what should be there on the screen which complements what is being spoken? So you make a narration column and you make a visual column, and there is a third column which you may or may not want to worry about right now. So what I've done is, now I've just broken down this paragraph into like each row. So the first line now is, and the answer lies in the bacterial cell wall. So here, showing the bacterial cell wall is the most important thing, because that's our subject of interest. Now the next line is, the cell wall of bacterium is like a coat made by the bacterium around itself. So now here we want to show that the bacteria itself makes this cell wall around itself, right? And then it says it protects the bacterial cell from its environment and its predator. So here we want to show protection, that the cell wall is protecting the bacterial cell from what? From something in the environment, which includes predators, right? So which means something else that can come and eat the bacteria in question. In fact, damage to the cell wall can kill the bacteria. So here we want to show that, so here it's talking about protection, and the next thing is lack of protection. Like, if protection goes away and it gets damaged somehow, it dies. The bacteria dies. So now this is our order of, like, so we need to find a way to visualize this on the screen. So the words will be spoken by the narrator to complement this, but then something should happen on the screen as well to show this. So now you, as an animator and or an illustrator, have to start thinking about, what do I put on my screen, and how do I show all these things that I want to show. So let's try this together maybe. So what would you want to show here? I will write based on what you tell me. The answer lies in the bacterial cell wall. Anybody wants to just give me a suggestion as to what should we show here on the screen? Anyone? No one? Okay, so here we have to show a bacteria with a bacteria cell wall in center. Then here I have to show that the bacteria has made this thing around itself. Exactly, somebody wrote picture of cell wall, yes. So here I have to show bacteria adding a layer around itself that looks like the cell wall we saw previously, right? Reduce the text size. Right. Now here we have to, in the same thing, we have to, yes. So here we have to add some predators around bacteria and show that they cannot harm the bacteria. So how can they not harm the bacteria? So this also needs a visual signal. So the predator will come close to the bacteria, but gets pushed away. So though it's not like they are literally fighting, but visually, when a form that is like of a predator will come close to the bacteria and be pushed away, then it will seem like the bacterial cell wall is protecting the bacteria. Right. Now, yeah, now the Magesh is giving good answer. Right here, now the predators will disappear. So now we are talking about damage. Okay, so here the damage can come from anywhere. So we can either make it an inherent damage or from the predator. So we can say a single predator manages to bite the bacteria. The bacteria shrinks in size and then disappears, which becomes a metaphor for it dying. Does that make sense? Right? Right. So here now what we have done is we've started to figure out how will we show what we are saying through visuals on screen. And this is what once you start writing this down, then the next step was storyboarding, which the other mentors will talk to you about. Inherent damage means that something that happened, let's say, because of old age, like if the bacteria has accumulated so many toxins or is very old, then it might still show cell damage. Yeah, right. So once we have figured this out, like what do we want to show for each new thing we are telling in the script, then the storyboarding process becomes much, much more easier. And here are a few key points that I think would help to keep in mind that when you are storyboarding, so your script will be depending on how long the animated content is that you want to make. It might be very long or very short, but whatever it is, try to make it into chunks of information. So like when we write an essay, it's written in paragraphs, and the paragraphs are all like continuously with each other, but a paragraph is related to a special idea and the next idea is another paragraph, but they're all connected. So similarly in the video as well, if you pay attention, you will realize that there are these segments that have been stitched together to make the whole thing flow seamlessly. So write in bits of sequences, and in each sequences ensure that there is a continuity. So if you have used, let's say you use that bacteria cell wall in the first frame and you colored it red, so even in the next frame that bacterial cell wall should be red unless there is another meaning or change that you want to show. So in that kind of thing, keep continuity between what you show in the first frame and the next frame, so that the audience, when they are looking at it, know that it is the same thing that we are talking about and not a different thing. And in between two segments, use transitions. I think your other mentors will talk about transition. But when now you are writing and you're writing down these visuals, think about these transitions already, just so that like okay, where should a sequence stop and where the next one should start. That is something that you should know in the beginning itself. Right. And when you write, you have to ensure that, like, let's say there is a long paragraph. Share the app and everything. Your other mentors will tell you the technical details. There is Tariq here, and he will tell you more about it. So, So like let's say there is a long paragraph and you write only very little for it on the screen. Like visuals is same for a very long piece of words, like a section of words. So what happens is that the screen there becomes very static and becomes very boring to look at. So ensure that like there is enough dynamic things happening on the screen even if long sentences are being spoken. And there are simple ways to do that. Like if your visuals scientifically are not changing, nothing else is happening in the process, and you need to describe it for longer, you can just like show like some, very wavy, gentle wavy movements, or just have some dots pop in now and then, you know, now and that at some points just to give it some texture. So ensure that like your audience's gaze is with you. If you make it too like too long narration with just one static visual, then the audience will lose interest. And also think about your color schemes and everything. For example, the story we saw, the video we saw, which was about exploration. So it was about exploration, very happy idea, very interesting idea. So you use bright colors. But maybe let's say you are talking about history of something. So then maybe you can start thinking about using colors that we associate with history more in sepia tones or brown tones and ochre tones. So, and stylize as per audience. Now, this is an important conversation. So, in the next slide, I have a list of a small list, but a list nevertheless of some animated videos that you could watch. And you have, like, when you look at them, you will realize that in the way you do your drawings or in the way you collect your pictures, there can be multiple ways of illustrating them or moving them. And so if you and stylize it means differently means, let's say if I'm making it for very young children, let's say I'm making it for kids that are 5 years old, then I will use really large shapes, I will use really bright colors. If I'm making it for audience your age, then maybe I'll use the colors that we saw in the video we discussed. And if I'm making it for uh, let's say like really old people, or let's say somebody who are there in their 50s or 60s, then I might make it more realistic so they might find it more relatable. So the kind of drawing style you use can make you connect or misconnect with your audience. The kind of colors you use can make you connect and misconnect with your audience. So these are things that you can keep in your mind, like because you already know who you are making it for. You were very clear from the beginning about what, who, and why. So that will help in you also being able to choose the right drawing style and color for your audience. And these are some of the shows that I also like to watch a lot, and I think they're really cool videos. Not all of them are completely animated. Like It's Okay to Be Smart has a host and has animated content as well. Whereas Veritasium also has a host, and sometimes they have animated content in between. But all the other three are fully animated content and really well done. And all of these are, a lot of these are, they tell stories of science. TED tells you stories of other things as well, but there are also science stories therein. If you want, you can take a screenshot of this and then Google these references later. All right, I am done. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take them. Thank you.
Thanks, Ipsa. That was really nice. And I think the members who managed to join us on the WebEx really benefited from the interactions. Yes, Naga Manish, all these will be available on YouTube for your reference even after the webinar is over. But as you might have noticed, that joining the webinar is making it easier for you to interact with the mentors. And it will also allow us to identify if you are available, have joined the session, and it'll be easier for us to provide you certificates so that you can, have an endorsement that you attended this course. So are there any questions for IPSA? Let me just check the YouTube as well. Right. So anybody within the call has any questions may type it in the chat box. Okay, so
Yeah, the shows I listed are on YouTube. Yeah, I watched them on YouTube only.
all right. So I think there are no questions for now, but feel free to ask questions from any one of us. You can post it here. There is a Jigyasa portal. You can get in touch with the entire team. Get engaged and let's thanks. So Shreya is asking, is the animation that we saw are on YouTube and on which channel? So,
Yes,
so that's a question for you.
let me just, share the link with you if that's all right. Just give me a second. It's a whole playlist and it's available on YouTube. Yeah.
Thanks, Ipsa, for sharing the link. And it's great to watch watch scientists doing so many different things in such a professional fashion. So yeah, really motivated to always listen to you. So with that, Tavi, let's all thank IPSA and move on to listen to our next mentors. So I'm handing it over back to Bafia now.
Yeah. Thank you, Anshu. Thank you, IPSA. It was a very nice and engaging presentation that you have made, and I'm sure it will benefit the students very nicely. So I would now like to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Ashif Sadiq, the animation expert. And Ashif Sadiq has done his BTech in Electronics and Communications from NEHU Shillong, and currently he's residing in Assam. He's the founder of Aeronic. The company Aeronic provides all technology and digital solutions. He is a senior graphics designer and certified web animator and web developer. Ashif is an experienced content creator and has created content for more than 15 reputed brands. Here, he provided support in terms of content creation to websites, animations, digital platforms, and other aspects at client level. So, I would like to now hand over to Ashif. So, Ashif, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful to be here. And this is a very good platform for students as well, because I think in this situation, students are getting a lot of things, and this week they are getting a lot of things, starting from the comics to the animation and lots of presentation we have seen.
Yes.
So here we are finalizing with the animation part. So without and I also thank to Ifsa ma'am. She just elaborate things, all the things so nicely. And so let me share my presentation. So is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, you have to put it in the, I think, presentation mode.
Okay.
Yeah.
How
Done.
about this?
Yes,
Okay.
it's good.
So I would like to welcome everyone to this workshop animation. And this is not just a workshop. I just want to make this workshop as so interactive so that everyone comes and knows. And I just want to, I want everyone to, after this workshop, their perspective on the animation would change. I definitely, I'll try my best, level best to give all the aspects of work animation from basic to the advanced level. And definitely there will be some hands-on, and my colleague Tariq Mahmood is there, and he will be handling all the hands-on training to the students. So, okay, let's begin the workshop then. So first of all, here you can see, I'll be, okay. So what is animation? Animation, that word derived from the word anima. It's a Latin word, and which means life or soul, whatever you say. Okay, now in the right side of the presentation, you can see one image, and it's a very well-known character. Everyone knows about it. Okay, so this is a Motu from the Motu Patlu, where it says, so he's holding the samosa, and it's a picture, right? And he's holding the samosa, but it's a very well-known dialogue of Motu, that is, खाली पेट मेरा दिमाग की बत्ती नहीं जलती जलती. So the thing is that he's holding the samosa, so but he's not having the samosa. So so that's because it's a picture and that cannot move. Okay, so yeah, if you see the next point, that is animation is an illusion. Okay, so if I could, okay, so here in the next photo, you can see the pictures are moving, right? The even Motu and Patlu both are having the samosa and they are very happy. Even they're getting the taste of the samosa. So how it's possible that they are even moving their eyebrows, they're even tasting, they're moving their hands. So basically, this is animation. Okay, but are they really moving their hands? Are they real characters? No, it's they are not real characters. They're just an picture, a series of picture. Okay, so how it is made, we will explain it in a better way. But for now, I just want to explain like here, Motu is just holding the samosa. There is one picture. Again, taking the hands out of the samosa, there's a picture. Again, he is putting the samosa in front of our mouth. There's another picture. And he's again putting the samosa in his mouth. I mean, there's another picture. So all this series of pictures are putting together to get a moving things. And that is called animation. Okay, so again, I'm telling it's an illusion that is created by the animator, that is created by the artist, and the simulation of movement created by the series of pictures is animation. Okay, so hopefully you get a brief idea about the animation, what exactly animation is. Okay, moving to the next slides. So I would like to explain how this animation things are happening. Okay, so here, if you observe, there are 7 pictures of a fox who's running so happily. I mean, walking so happily. Okay. So in the first picture, he is just in the posture that he is just, I mean, start walking. So he's leaning in the second picture. Again, he is looking back in the next picture. So this is a sequence of image. So if you put a viewport on the, I mean, on the sequence, a viewport where we can see, or you better imagine a window where we can see a single frame. Okay, so now if I try to pass that photo under that viewport in a certain rate, okay, like that. So after that, what you'll get? You'll get a you'll get an animation like this. Get a scene like this where the fox is running so happily. Okay. But here, if you observe, some numbers are going on, like from 1 to 67, I guess. Yeah. From 1 to 67, there are numbers are going on. This means that in this 1 or 2 seconds of video, there are 67 images are there. Okay. So 67 images are putting together, create this just a 1 second or 2 second video. So this is a animation. Okay, here you can see some noises on the video, some black noises are video. This is because the every single images, every single frame have some, I mean, dark portion, dark circle or the dark line in that image. That's why while we are just dragging those, while we are dragging those sequence of image, there are some noises in the pictures. So that is how the animations are done. Hopefully you are getting a good knowledge about the animation things. So now the question arises, where these things are done? Okay, so the answer is like these things are done on a pen and paper. Okay, they have every sheets of paper. In every sheets of paper, they draw this picture in a different posture. Again, in a and this single page of paper, they draw it in a different posture and putting together and get this animation. Okay, So if I ask you now, if you ask me like how can we make such kind of animation in our home as well? So my answer would be yes. You can also create such kind of animation in your home as well. So how can you do that? Okay. So there is a type of animation called flipbook animation. Okay, most of you have gone through maybe, but I'll introduce this flipbook animation. So maybe you have seen the Tare Zameen Par, a movie was there of Amir Khan. Yeah. So hopefully you got this clip from the Tare Zameen Par. This is a very interesting clip which was done by the main character of the movie, Ishan Avasti. Okay. So how did he manage to do this? This is a notebook of maybe like 30 to 40 pages. Here, he draw the character in such a way that it feels like the small character who the Ishan himself. It looks like he is going away of the main page, going away from his family. So hopefully you got the things how he did this. He did this drawing. Yes, his father, mother, and his brother was there, and every single page, remaining images were same. All the remaining images were same, but in every single page, he draw his image in such a way he's just slightly out of the frame. Okay, so slowly, when the images seems like he was out of the frame, and after he completed, I mean, after he finished all the drawings, and when he flipped the book in such a way, then it feels like the character is animated or the character is going out of the box. But there should be some speed, there should be some rate, and we will be discussing about the rate. What will be the rate when um, after when it looks like an animation? If we move it so slowly, I mean at a very less rate, then it won't look like an animation. Okay, and even if we move it so fast, then also it won't look like an animation. So I will be discussing with the rate also, but before proceeding to the next slide, let's see one more example. See, one Michael Jackson is like just like dancing on the paper once again. So a dancing shark, right? So the artist draw this, I mean, images in such a way that the shark is dancing. It seems like the shark is dancing, but is the shark really dancing on the frame? No, because it's just some combination of images. That's why the animation is a combination of some sequential images. When you put together and just roll it in some rate, and it feels like it's an animation, but it's an illusion. All right. Okay. So moving to the next slide. I just want to share some fun facts about the animation things. So in the frame, here you are seeing like three characters. One is Mickey Mouse, another one is Genie from the Aladdin, and third one you should answer. It's up to you. It's to the student who can answer. Let's see. And if you observe, they have four fingers, not five. And previously, all the traditional animations, everyone yeah, sound wow. Okay. So every character has four finger. And do you know why the four finger? Because previously, whatever we have seen, like in the dancing fox and the dancing shark and even the flipbook animation, you have to draw all the characters, every single pages. In every single page, you have to draw this, all the characters, right? So when we miss out like one finger, then it helps the artist and it saves the time also. Okay. So see here what I have written here. Absence the fifth finger on the hands of cartoon characters. Animation studio managed to save several millions of dollars. Why? Because when they used to, I mean, use these characters in the movie, and they have to draw like thousands and lakhs of pictures, and if they save like small portion of in any character, that would really help them, and that really saves time, and times means money. So in that way, they saves their lot of money as well, and say also. Okay, so this is the one of the fun facts. So moving to the next slide. So let's discuss about the history of animation, where from where it's evolved. The history of animation was just began in from 1890. So if you it's 2022, right? So it's almost like 132 years ago they have started this animation. From where it is animated, who started this? And there was a device called praxinoscope, okay, which was invented by Charles Emile Renaud, and it was the device I'll show in the next slides what kind of device it is, and it was the device of 12 pictures. I already told you the animation is a sequence of pictures, right? That's why. Different factors. Okay, so that's why the inventor invented the device in such a way where the 12 pictures are there, and it seems like the pictures are animating. Okay, so and the third part was which was very interesting, the which has come from the Walt Disney Studio. Many of you have, already knows about it, like Snow White and the Seven Dwarf. It was featured on 1937. Can you believe that it was 85 years ago? Animated movie, and Walt Disney even received an Oscar for this. Okay, so while I was talking about the sequence of image, let me explain a fun facts about this. No, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Here, the there were 750 artists were working in this movie. I clear you once again, like 750 artists were working together in this movie, and they have produced like 250,000 images complete this movie. So from next time onwards, whenever you see this movie, after this, maybe after this workshop, whenever you see this movie, you just observe how what what is the level of effort they have given to like feature this movie. It's a huge, and heads up to them. Okay, so moving to the next slide, and this is the Praxinoscope. Can you see that a device where some pictures were there? And I think I do not have to explain to you and how the horse is running with the rider, but it's a sequence of some pictures. When it is moved at certain, rotate at certain rate, it feels like it is animating. But is it really animating? Is it really moving? The pictures are really moving? The characters? No, but just it is rotated in such a way so that it feels like the characters are moving, but it is not. Okay, that's why we call the animation as illusion. So, okay, so I was telling about the hello, am I connected?
Yeah, Ashif, you are back now. You may continue. Ashif, can you? Yeah, you are back now. You may please continue.
Wait, my WebEx is just slowing down its services.
Asif, you may continue without your video also with the slides only. That will be fine for WebEx also, I think.
Is there a network problem?
I think he is facing a network issue. And I just to announce to all our participants and the students, we may be having a quiz session after this session. So please be prepared for that, and it will happen on Mentimeter. So I request all the attendees to students to participate into that quiz session. It will be a fun fact.
Sorry for the interruption. My app got crashed, and
You can continue now, no problem.
yeah. So, ma'am, can I get the share on?
Okay, I have made you presenter.
Okay. It's not working. Hello.
Uh,
Can you?
Mr. Asif,
Hello.
you can like put your video off. So I think network issue will be resolved by that. You can go with the slides only. It will be better.
Okay. 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 Is it visible now?
Yes, yes, Asif.
Okay. So as I was talking about the like rate frame rate one at certain rate. So I'd like to discuss what is rate exactly. So that we call in animation terms of view, point of view, it's FPS, okay, frame per second. So what is frame per second? Here it is written like frame per second means the number of frames there are in each second of sequence given the set of frame number. Okay, bigger the FPS, the shorter the animation. Okay, here are the two pictures are there. Hopefully it is it visible, Aminu sir? The
Yes,
animations?
yes, it is like
Okay,
at different speed.
okay. So at the first frame, here is a 2 FPS. That means there are two images per second. Okay, so that's why it feels like I mean the video is not that smooth. Okay, in the next in the clip, if you observe, there are 8 FPS. That means there are 8 images putting at us in a single second. Okay, so 8 images are running in a second. That's why 8 FPS. So hopefully the frame per second, the concept is clear to you. So it is 2 FPS and it is 8 FPS. So more the I mean, if you lower the FPS, the video will be longer, okay, because you are putting all the images at I mean a longer rate. I mean you're putting 2 or 3 images in the 2 seconds. The FPS and the frame per rate will be decreased and the video will be longer. Okay, and if the FPS is more, like 8 images putting together in a single second, the video will be shrink and the video will be less. But uh, uh, video will be more smooth. Okay, so I'll give you one more example on FPS.
Asif, your slide is not moving. I think you can check.
Yeah, actually the app is getting crashed every time. Why I don't know.
Asif, your slide is not.
Because I'm having a good speed of internet as well, but the app service is not responding. It seems like that.
Okay, at least you can do one thing, like uh, disconnect with this presentation mode, and again you can again share the presentation.
Sorry to say, but my app is getting. Anyway, I will share my PPT only, not the picture.
Okay, okay.
Is it coming now, Amin sir?
Yeah, yes, you can
Okay.
start. No problem.
Okay, so this is the 15 FPS. Okay, so a man is jumping on a rubber and he's jumping at the 15 FPS. So can anyone tell me what is the 15 FPS means? Can anyone please comment? Because I want this session to be interactive and it's a very important, interesting topic. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for your comments. There are 15 pictures putting together in a single second. That's why it's called 15 FPS. Okay. So if I move to the next, then you can see there are 30 FPS. If you observe the two pictures together, the 30 FPS is more smoother than the 15 FPS, right? Yeah. Okay. And moving to the next, there you can observe 60 FPS. So this is more smoother than this two. Okay. So that means there are 60 images putting together. Yes, there are 60 images are putting together in a single seconds. That's why it becomes so smooth because we are getting all the posture. We are including all the posture in a single second. That's why it's become so smooth. Okay, you have to keep all these things in your mind while you are doing animation things, because animation is just not an activity, it's a mind game as well. Okay, before you start doing animating anything, you have to make clear everything in your mind first, and then only if your concept is ready, and then only you go for the animation. Okay, so moving. So I'd like to demonstrate a video here of, mm, of the seven sorry, so Snow White and the Seven Dwarf. Here you can observe how they have created this movies from with a frame per frame. Okay. And for I like to say film made on 20 frames. See, every single posture are drawn. Every single posture of these cartoons of the Seven Dwarfs men are drawn.
What is it? Why,
And you can see the smoothness of the video as well.
she's mighty pretty. She's beautiful, just like a angel. Angel? Huh. She's a female, and all females is poison.
Here. I wonder if the children are... Oh! Why, you're little men. How do you do? I said, how do you do?
How do you do what?
Oh, you can talk. I'm so glad. Now, don't tell me who you are. Let me guess. I know. You're Doc.
Why, yeah, that's true.
Okay, so this is all about the video, and I would like to say that these videos are made at a rate of 24 fps. That means 24 images are putting together in a single seconds. Okay, so you can now think about their level of effort. So that's why I told 750 artists were working in this movie, and they have produced like 250,000 images to build this movie. Okay, so moving to the next slide. So history of Indian animation. So what India has done, Indian artist has done for the animation. So there was a first featured film that's called Ek Anek or Ekta. It was featured on 1974 on the Doordarshan. So this was the first traditionally made animated movie. Okay, so and there was a serial as well, television serial, and whose name is Gaya Baya. It was featured in 1986. You can get all these videos at the YouTube. It is available in the YouTube as well. And the third movie, hopefully you all know it, Roadside Romeo. It was created on 2008. Okay, and with Yash Raj movie films and the Walt Disney Company putting their efforts together, and they produced this movie, Roadside Romeo. It was the first 3D movie for the India. So, and I would like to show our demo clip
Uh,
of Ek Anek or Ekta.
one information. The stream is unavailable. So what's the problem about that? So off air, ma'am.
Yeah, what did you say? Can you please repeat?
Stream is unavailable. I'm actually parallelly watching the streaming also. So their written stream is unavailable. The video is like I think lost the streaming.
I think it happened because of the YouTube policies.
What is that YouTube policy?
Uh, it may be because we are using the images which are copyrighted. So that may be an issue for a while.
Are we not on YouTube right now?
So it's
Again,
back now.
okay, it's back.
now.
Yeah, it has come back. I can see that we are there on YouTube. Okay.
No, it's back now.
And we are not
Go
doing
ahead,
any
go ahead.
copyright issue. In fact, we are promoting them. You know, we are using their videos and we are showing it to students.
Exactly,
That is
but
not a
they actually
copyright
don't
issue.
realize
Yeah.
this the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
We can continue. I think we can continue, Asif.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, moving to the next slide. Okay, this is the video of Ek Anek or Ekta. This was made by Indian artist, and it was you can see their efforts, how they have done this.
हिंद देश हम सभी एक है तररररर। भाषा अनेक है भाषा अनेक है। ये अनेक क्या है दीदी? अनेक यानी बहुत सारे। बहुत सारे? क्या बहुत सारे? अच्छा, बताती हूँ। सूरज एक, चंदा एक, तारे अनेक। तारों को अनेक भी कहते हैं? नहीं नहीं, देखो फिर से। सूरज एक, चंदा एक, एक 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 करके तारे भये अनेक। ठीक से समझाओ ना दीदी। देखो देखो एक गिलहरी। पीछे पीछे
Okay, so
अनेक चिड़ियों की कहानी सुनोगे?
so explaining this frame, here they have drawn an image. Okay, again
हाँ
moving.
हाँ। आ
These are all images. Okay, so really, hats off to the Ek Anek or Ekta team, and in that time, they did a huge effort to make this kinds of movies, animated movies. Okay, so now what are the advantages of animations? Okay, so because if you are doing something, there should be some advantages. Okay, so here I mentioned few of the advantages, but there are lots of advantages of animated animation. It helps their imagination and learn concept with ease. Okay, whatever you are thinking, yeah, makes boring concept very easier. Okay, yeah, your comments are also welcome. Okay, it helps imagination and learn concept with ease. Because if you want to convey some messages, concepts without only some text and images, it is not that much effective. Okay, so you can, if you animate something, then your concepts are more clear to the viewers, more clear to the users. Okay, so again, interactive animation holds the audience attention. Yes, that's exactly true. Because if you watch an image or a text, if you are given to read a text of like 2 pages, you are getting bored to read such kind of, I mean, 2 pages or 3 pages. But you like end of, you can watch 3 hours movie, animated movie constantly. So that makes a sense. That's why it holds the audience attention. And real life experiments hazardous in natures can be sorted using animation. Because if you want to explain some real life, I mean, hazardous scenes and like cyclones and then another natural disaster, we cannot risk our life to picture those. We cannot risk our life to video those kinds of content. Okay, that's why you can, if you are good at animation, you can create by your own such kind of scenes and putting together in you can put in other like YouTube and other platforms to convey how it is, how the situations are. The animation provides real to good scenarios faced in daily and during learning, and some others are there also. You can bring any concept into life. So in the next slides, I would like to show how you can put your imagination into life. Yeah, you can see a boy is crying over the on the roof of the house, and there is a I mean hazardous situations here out there. So you cannot film this scene by your camera, and one cannot risk his life. Yeah. Long story also makes so interesting. Yeah. So this is the power of animation. If you have the creator who have created this animation, it is his own imagination. Okay. So you can put your own imagination into picture and you can create such interesting and beautiful animations. So okay. So next I would like to hand over this to Pramod sir to take a quiz. Hello.
Pramod, are you there? Yeah, Pramod is preparing, I think, for quiz.
No, we are ready. Gaurav, go ahead. Can you just present?
Okay, is there any link for quiz and anything? Okay, so that we can share on the YouTube also.
Yeah, of course, sir.
Share on the Webex chat box. I'll share it to the YouTube.
And after the quiz, I would like to request Pramod sir to hand over the scene to Tariq sir, which is colleague of mine, and he will be explaining everything with with
Can
some.
I present?
Yes, sir.
Gaurav, Anibul, can you share the link of quiz on YouTube?
Yes, I'm doing this.
Okay, so let's wait till it actually reaches to the YouTube, and then
Yes.
Gaurav, you can start your presentation as well. Yes.
People can join both way, na? They can directly go to the Mentimeter and use the passcode. Otherwise, they can go through the link also.
Yes, Animal, you share the mentimeter.com link on the YouTube, and then when the passcode is ready, just send that passcode.
I have already
The passcode is
sent.
8165121. Okay.
Pramod, we can
Yes.
wait for a minute to people to go
Yes.
there and make
Yes.
an
That's
activity.
what we are. Yeah, we are waiting for everybody to be ready with the
Okay.
mentees.
Okay. All right.
I hope everybody has joined. Seeing some 20 hands there. So all the participants of this quiz, they will be getting the participation certificates as well. Okay, this is the first question. Okay, we are seeing other hands as well. Good, Gaurav. Guys, there is second question. Good. Okay, good guys. We are getting some good inputs here. And I'll request all the participants to wait on the last slide. You have to fill up your name, email ID, school name, and state with a separation of comma. Okay, so we have seen this question in today's session as well.
Sir, first session, I think finish or what?
No, hold on just a minute. Gaurav, can you reshare the first slide so that we can get the registration details? Yeah. Can you just stop sharing and then reshare it, I think? नहीं आया प्रेजेंट तो करो उस पे हमारे उस पे तो करके नहीं आया Gaurav. Okay, I request all the students to please fill in that slide. I request all the students to please write your full name, email ID for sending certificates, school name and state as well. Okay, guys, I think we are done with this, and with this we are closing the quiz. If there is so, Vishal, you can put up the state as well after comma. If it is not there, then it is fine. Thank you. I think we can close the quiz now. Gaurav, can you close the quiz? Thank you.
the next speaker. Okay, by the time you're settled down. So, students, we have another speaker with us today, Mr. Tariq Mahmood. He's a postgraduate in computer science and an Adobe certified senior graphics designer, digital artist, animator, and a VFX artist. He has more than 11 years of experience in the creative industry. Tariq has provided services and support to many renowned companies like T-Series, Amul, TVS, etc. So thank you. Have a great mentoring session. I would now request Tariq to take over from here.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you all have allowed me to give a presentation on animation. And I will try my level best to give you all a hands-on animation. So let's begin the slide. So now, as we all have gone through many things regarding animation, like what is the meaning of frame rates and how it works actually. So now we will know about the types of animation. So what types of animation we are talking about? As we came to know just now that using simultaneous many images and put it in a sequence, it forms an animation, right? So now we are going to know about the types of animations. So here comes the 2D traditional animation, the mostly used animation right from the early days to the present day. So we are still using the 2D traditional animation because it is the most easy way to solve any problem regarding visually. So even the most advanced 3D artists also using the 2D traditional animation to solve their visual solution, which we can't do, still we can't do in 3D animation. So with the help of 2D traditional animation, we can solve many creative solutions regarding animation. So next is the 2D modern vector animation. So this is the most recent approach towards animation, and it is easier than the 2D traditional animation, because we are in this kind of animation we use vector art for vector art, and we put it directly by using a process called keyframe. We don't have to draw each and every frame for moving an object or for giving a walk cycle to a character. So this is the very recent approach to animation, and it is mostly used by the advertising companies and the commercial companies. And I have also done for many companies like Amul and T-Series animation like this. So next comes the most advanced animation techniques, that is 3D animation. One thing I would like to say that 3D animation is actually depend on the technical approach. If you don't know the 2D traditional animation, you can't be able to do the 3D animation, because 3D animation is all about technical approach, what you know technically and how you use the particular tool to to give an object a movement or whatever you want to give. 3D animations are most advanced animation techniques used by many studios like Pixar, Walt Disney, and DreamWorks, Sony, Fox Studio, and etc. etc. So next is the motion graphics. So motion graphics is mostly used by, especially through by the education institute, to solve some visual content through the motion graphics, because it is easier than the traditional animation, 2D traditional animation, and it also get rendered very quickly as compared to the 2D traditional animation. And as compared to the 2D traditional animation, it consumes less time and effort. Next comes the stop motion animation. So stop motion animation is basically combination of many photographs. So it is a very hectic process and it is a very time consuming process to show a stop motion animation. So it is still in use and many studios are also using this process, and it also uh, compared to 2D traditional animation, it is also costlier than the 2D traditional animation. Next comes the 2D traditional animation, how it works. So the main thing is that as you came to know that each and every frame we have to draw to give you a walk cycle or a movement or an expression. So 2D animation, traditional animation are basically in the older days we used to work with the whiteboard animation. As you can see right side, it is a whiteboard. Inside there is a LED light. We worked on this kind of animation setup, and this light is used to draw a character frame by frame, so that after placing one paper on above the other paper, we can see his last movement, so that we can draw the next movement of his last image. So that's why we use this kind of setup for drawing. It was before the invention of computer. So traditional animation can also be referred to as cell animation. This type of animation requires the animator to draw every single frame by hand to create an animated scene. This is usually done on a light table that allows the artist to see the previous drawing through the top layer of paper. So traditional animated film are very commonly animated film like the Lion King, Disney that came on 1994, Aladdin, Disney that came on 1992, Tarzan made by Disney 1999, and the Beast, Disney 1991, and Bambi, Disney 1949. These are the most popular film as we have gone through, and these are still very popular. So some of the fun facts about animation is that throughout the second part of the Pocahontas animated film, its main character has her hair gathered up into a pin. The reason for this was a lack of artist time to conduct rendering of flowing here. So the fun facts about this is that to create a particular animation scene, it requires a very well-known artist, and without suppose we are working on 2 to 3 characters. So it is not like that you the only person who will draw the characters by your own. It requires lots of manpower to give you those kind of output, because for creating one character and the details that we have to provide, you have to give an special attention to a particular character only. You can't give 2 to 3 character by your own and you will be able to give a very good output. So that's why in this movie there was a lack of artists time to conduct rendering of flowing hair. So they put the hair like this, as you can see on the right side of your screen, the image. So next come 2D modern vector animation. So now I would like to pause this slide and I want to give you a hands-on of a traditional animation. So let me start in a popular software, though we will not use in this software. So I'm just giving you just a reference how a traditional animation is done nowadays. And this is an Adobe software called Photoshop. Uh, as you all are familiar, I hope so. So I will do a small animation of frame to frame, how we do an animation. So so
Your
let
workshop
me,
is not visible here. You can.
okay, let me share the Photoshop.
Tariq sir, you can do one thing. You can unshare this slide. You can then again reshare, represent your.
Okay. Is it visible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I am now in Photoshop. It is a very popular software and an industry standard software used by many popular studios like Industrial Light and Magic, Disney, Pixar and all. So I will do a small animation of a character jumping up and down. Okay. So I'll be using my brush tool as it is just a demo purpose only. We will not be using this software for the final result as it is used by the industry standard. So I will be drawing a character, simple character I will be drawing. Not it will be not be in details. So this is the first frame. Okay, so I'll be using. Okay. Okay, so I'll be using the first frame and I will draw a character now, a simple character. So this is my character. Okay, this is my character. So this character will do jumping in a rubber stand. So this is the okay. So this is the stand. So as you can see, this is the first frame. This is the first frame. So I will go to the next frame. So let me start with the let me draw again. Some technical issue is going on. So this is my first frame and this is the bouncing, you can say a bouncing stand or a rubber stand where this character will do the bouncing. Okay, so I am going to the next frame. So I'm going to the next frame. Sorry to say, I would like to start again. Some technical issues going on. Okay, so now again I will draw the character and I will draw the simple. So as you can see, I can see the previous image because I have enabled the onion skin. What is onion skin exactly? Onion skin is a technology that has been designed by the developers so that we can see the previous image before drawing the next image. Okay, so now I will draw the same image again and I will put this character little below. Okay, so I'm putting this character little below. So next I will go to the next frame and same thing we will draw in the next frame, the jumping stand or whatever you say. So next I will draw this character again below and and again and again I will draw the stand. So after that, when the character reach at the bottom of the stand, there will be some changes in the rubber band. So how we will do that? you can see I will draw again the stem and I will put a little stretch in the rubber, and I will put this character little down. Okay, so you can see I have put this character little down, and I will again do the same thing repeatedly. So as you can see, this is as the animation has already begin to show its difference. So now I will draw again, and now the character will bounce back to its to its earlier stage. Okay, so now you can see I have put this character, and now this character, if the characters go back, then this will become normal, right? And now again I will draw, and the character will again go up. Okay, so after disabling the onion skin, you can see now one frame it actually left. Let me enable the onion skin. So as you can see, okay, now it is done, and now I am disabling the onion skin, and now you can see how the animation is forming. Right from first stage, you can see as it get bounce and the animation changes. So this is how a traditional animation is done. Though the sketch is not proper now because due to the lack of time, I would not be able to create the sketch properly. Just for a reference purpose, I am showing you how an animation is done. So now I would like to give you a hands-on on another animation that is called vector animation. Let me share first. Okay, now I'm going to share. Okay, so as I have told you that vector animation are something that we create in another software and we put it in another software. It is not individually, it is not done in only in a single software. Okay, so vector animation, vectors are specially designed in a software called Adobe Illustrator. That is also a software from Adobe, and now you can see the work cycle of this animation. Though it is also looking very good and very nice because because it's completely digital, and its output is also very much means convenient to see. You can very much you are satisfied after seeing the output. As you can see, this is the work cycle of the vector animation, completely done in totally two software, that is called Adobe Illustrator and After Effects. So it took me around half an hour to show this kind of animation, which it will took for a traditional animation artist for almost an hour, because there are almost this is running in 60 fps. That means 60 frame per second it is running. So ultimately, in a traditional wave animation, a 3D, a traditional artist have to draw 60 frame per second, which has been decreased, and the output is also very nice as compared to the traditional animation. Though traditional animation has its own importance, and it is also very useful. Still, it is very useful nowadays. Without traditional animation, you can't go to vector animation also. So the concept both have its own importance. So this is a vector animation. Now I would like to show you what is motion graphics. So I will be showing you the motion graphics. So this animation has an impact, especially for information, giving an information like what as you can see in the screen, tip of the day: drink every day 6 liter water for a healthy kidney. So this kind of information nowadays are given through motion graphics. So motion graphics is very much popular in advertising companies and agencies, because it helps us give a very good information to the audience. So as you can see here, as you can see, it is an empty glass. So here some animation is going on. As you can see, there are a glass of water and some animation is going on. So how exactly this animation is done? So this kind of animation are actually done through a process called compositing. So compositing is a very old topic. Almost it is at the beginning stage of animation and digital art, beginning stage of sketch and all. So compositing is all about combining different images, video images, and putting it in one layer, and after that you can see the output. So here I will show you the breakdown how I have done this. So as you can see, this is an empty glass, and this is the illusion of water inside the glass, and this is exactly the water. The animation is exactly done in this way. So motion graphics are combination of different images, and through the help of motion graphics you can solve many problem very artistically, and that looks much better than traditional animation, which takes less time than traditional animation. So again I'm combining the three images together again, and you can see the images. Though at the same time some text animation is also going on. As you can see, some text animation is also going on, which creates an impact to the audience, so that they can go through the sequence, right? So this is moving means you can thoroughly you can go through the animation, right? The tip of the day, drink every day 6 liter water for a healthy kidney. So it's create a very positive impact to the audience, and they will go through your creative and give it a very important approach, right? So now I'm going back to the slides. So okay, so next slide is about keyframe. So keyframe is exactly, I have discussed a few minutes back that keyframe, what exactly is keyframe is? Keyframe is moving an object from one position to another and tracking those position in a form of a key. Right. So I will give you a hands-on with the keyframe, how it works exactly. So let me share you once again what exactly keyframe is and how keyframe works. So I will go back to the same software, After Effects. So I will be creating one new file. So okay. So let me first show you. Let me take one object. So so this is a square. Okay. So I want to move this object from here to here, from left to right. So what exactly keyframes, how it works? As you now what I will do, I will select its position. As you can see here, this is the position, and I will give here a keyframe. As you can see here, below the square, you can see one timeline. So here I have given one keyframe. So now I want to move this square from left to right. So I will simply click this object and I will simply move. So now you can see automatically here one keyframe has been generated, and now after playing the animation, you can see that it works according with the keyframe. Okay, so now I want to change its position from left to right, again from left to right, again from right to bottom, little below. Okay, so now I will put one more keyframe and I will track the present position, and I will now drag the sig bar and I will move this object below. So now you can see the animation, it is going first right, then below. So here what I have done, I have just simply put some keyframe that is exactly doing the animation. Now this is the same way which we can use in a particular character to follow the keyframe. Suppose we are using a character and we want to move him from left to right. That exactly I have shown you right few seconds back. This is the way I have done the keyframe. So the keyframe is exactly done through tracking the position of a particular object from where I have started and where I will want to end the animation. So now as you can see, it is going from left to right and again from right to bottom. Okay, and again I want to do the same thing, and now I am want this object from want to change this object position from right to left. So now what I will do, I will again track this present position and I will simply drag the sig bar on the timeline, and what I will do, I will simply click the object and I will move the object to the left side. So now you can see how the animation is finally is looking. Now you can see the animation is going from left to right, then bottom, then again left. So this is the way how keyframe works. So this as I'm using this software, it is also available in many software also, but this is as it is an industry standard software, so I'm just as a reference I am showing you this kind of thing for so that you can get an idea how a keyframe works. Okay, so now I'm going back again to the slides. So let me share. Okay, so a keyframe is a point, one frame on a video timeline where you tell the video editing software specific properties setting. Some common properties are scale, rotation, opacity, and volume. A keyframe animation is the shift in a property setting in between two keyframes. The idea is to trigger a change to your video that takes place over a certain set of time. So where is 2D animation exactly used? So I have already told it has multiple areas where animation is a very important topic. For example, product commercials. Everywhere you can see nowadays product commercials are involved in 2D animations, and 3D animations also they are doing to create an attention towards the audience. So next is the educational films, anything, it can be anything, it can be some lessons of your history book, it can be lessons from your science chapter, it can be anything like at present the popular software Byju's. Byju's is also is completely depend on animations and 2D 3D, so that student can learn more easily and quickly, right? So next is the music videos. So music videos are nowadays more popular. During the pandemic last year, many popular singers have done their virtual concert on various platforms like Netflix, Amazon, and various different game engines also they have worked for, and they have done the music videos virtually, and it creates a very means visual approach than normal videos and all. So next is the web animation. So web animation nowadays are getting very much popular. As you see, web animations are everywhere now. The UI, user interface of Google Android and iOS are also available, and everybody are using nowadays. Everybody have Android phones. so they can see the animations, the how the app, a particular app is um, opening and closing, how an animation take place there. So web animation is a very important topic nowadays. So architecture animations like building designs, a walkthrough of a particular building before constructing, before getting start constructed, right? So it helps the civil engineers to solve many problems before starting a construction. So in earlier days, it was very tough job to construct a building, and we can see it before building in a 3D form or in an animated form, so that we can go inside a virtual room and we can set up with different types of furnitures and all. But nowadays it has become very easy to do this kind of animations with the help of these softwares, so and many more, etc. So 2D animated movies, some of the 2D animated movies, as you can see, these are the very famous 2D animated movies. By seeing the images only, you can be able to recognize what kind of animated movies and how your childhood has. In fact, many grown-up child nowadays have seen this kind of animation from their very beginning, because these are very old movies. So these are very popular movies, and still it is going on, because the content and the way they give the output, it has actually changed the industry a lot. And next comes the 3D animation. So till now we have talked about many things: animation, 2D animations, and 3D animation also in between I have told you. But exactly what 3D animation is different from 2D animation? What is the difference between 3D and 2D? So 3D animation is basically a three-dimensional structure. Suppose whatever we draw in a paper, that is exactly we are seeing in a 2D dimension, because it doesn't have 360-degree view, right? We can, if we want to design a 2D character and we want to rotate him in 360-degree, that means we have to draw him uh, according to the requirement. That means he have to rotate 360-degree to form his complete means his he have to show his complete means his layout through 2D animation. But in 3D animation, it is little different. It is a 360-degree model, so we can very precisely we can design a particular object, and it has its own depth. Whereas in 2D animation, there is no depth, no lights, and no shadows. We have to produce it manually. But in 3D animation, whenever we put a light in a particular object, the shadows where it have to come, it automatically creates it. Okay, so 3D animation is also known as computer animation, and it is currently the most commonly used form of animation. The process of 3D animation is very different from the traditional style, but they both require the artist to share the same principles of movement and composition in animation. As you can see the GIF image, this is a GIF image actually, a video image. So this is a very advanced footage from a very popular movie, Ice Age. As you have, I hope you have already seen this movie. So 3D animated movies are very popular nowadays, and Toy Story is one of the first of its kind to come into existence. And Toy Story was the first 3D animated movie, and it has been done by the most advanced and most popular studio, Pixar. Next comes the Ice Age, and next comes the Tangles, Kung Fu Panda, and these are the most popular movies, and they have done a tremendous job in regarding 3D animation, and it requires lots of manpower and strategy and storyline and script and storyboarding to give these movies an extra means it keep itself itself extra from others. It keeps itself we can say it's a legendary movie, right? So what is the difference between 2D and 3D animation? As I have told, 2D animation is basically a flat character. Anything you use in a 2D environment is a flat thing. That means we can see left and right. We can't see it's 360 degree. We can create it like we can create in 3D animation. Okay, so 3D animation, as you can see the difference. In 3D animation, you can recognize that there are lights, there are shadows, and where the light is forming, the light is forming on the backside of this character's body. But at the same time, there are no lights, no shadows. These are all manually made shadows, and it is means in 3D animation it looks more lively than the 2D animation. Okay, so next is the open source software used for animation. There are also the software which I was showing you is actually a not open source software. Those are professional softwares used by the industry standard companies and all. But uh, the same thing, but not exactly all the tools are not available in the open source software. But you can do most of the thing in this kind of open source software. That is the Open Tools, Pencil 2D, Synfig, K3D, Krita. This kind of softwares are popular for as an open source software, and you can go and use for it, and it is completely free to use. Next is now I would like to hand over to Sir so that he can take the quiz. Hello.
Wafia ma'am, is there any more further quiz today?
Yes,
No,
so Tariq,
Yes,
hello,
ma'am.
can you hear me, Tariq?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, what we decided was that you are going to show a video, so we cancelled our quiz today and we will be showing it tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
then.
Tarek, in the meantime, from the chat, there are a few questions and maybe you can answer them now. So,
Okay.
Vishal is asking that the imaginary characters can have different characteristics separately. How can we create a plot by consistently keeping the same behavior?
Okay. So, okay. Let me answer one by one, ma'am. First question was from Naga Manish. Okay. Okay.
Sir, he was asking what is meant by vector image.
Okay. Okay. Vector images are those are exactly combination of points. So we work on two environment exactly. So we work on raster environment and vector environment. Raster environment are those that are consist of pixels, and vectors are consist of points. So that's why Illustrator and Photoshop are different softwares, and
So,
both softwares have
sir,
different.
I have downloaded this. I mean, it has come. Okay.
You can continue, sir.
Okay, okay. So vectors are basically consist of points. So vectors are softwares like Illustrator, Animate CC, Character Animate. They use vector technology, and Photoshop program like Photoshop they use especially they use pixel based technology. So vector animations, we use vector softwares to produce animation because it has its own property and it doesn't get pixelated. So what is the means in pixel based or raster based software, we actually there is a criteria that after a certain period of time, whenever we zoom a character, it gets pixelated. But in vector program, it doesn't get pixelated. It has its own importance. So vectors are especially used for doing animations like vector animation, motion graphics, and we can also use animations in vector program, like traditional animation also done in various softwares like Animate CC and all.
Another question is like, what is the best app for doing animation? So one asking
What is the
best software for or software or app for doing animation.
Okay, so there are not one software you can't say that this is the best software for doing animation. Animations are actually basically done with combination of multiple software. So right from the traditional way of animation, you can start from pen and paper to using Photoshop, Illustrator, Animate CC, Character Animate, Blender, Cinema 4D, 3D Max, Maya. There are multiple options. So it is not exactly I can say that this software is. Yes, I can give you certain tips that if you start with using Photoshop, Illustrator and Animate CC, you can be able to do 2D animation at a professional level. So these softwares you can go through. That is Photoshop, Illustrator, and Animate CC.
Sir, I would like to say that for like a school student, yeah, like a student under the age of 18, 19. So for them, what will be the best like animation software that could be easy in handling? So we can suggest
Animation software, whether it is open source or paid
open, must be
professional
open
one.
source, sir.
Open source software, you can use Animaker, which we will be showing tomorrow. What we can do in Animaker, it is an web application, and we can create our own character, and we can also give the character emotion, expression, and it is a drag and drop software. So for a school student or for a beginner, it can be very helpful, apart from using a premium software or industry standard software.
Okay, ma'am, I don't see any further question from the YouTube chat box also, and also in Webex also don't have any questions.
Are we done with all the questions now? Animal, have you checked the YouTube questions?
I was like tracking YouTube questions also. So there is no YouTube for the two questions were there. I asked already. So
Okay, so
there is
we
no
are
further
done with
questions.
today's session. Like, are we done with today's session? Hello?
I'd like to present something more about the animation, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kashif, go
sure,
ahead.
sir.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So is my slides visible?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. So let's start with the fun facts once again. This is a fun facts from how to train your dragon. So the team who were developing this movie, How to Train Your Dragon, they were sent to a summer school of physics, okay, to understand better way of flights and how things fly, how so they want to give a more realistic view in the movie. That's why they put their entire team in a school of physics to understand it better. So see how they are, they're doing their effort to make everything's in real. They want to give a real look of these things. Okay, so after all, this presentation, you have learned a lot about animations, and so now I'm going to discuss something core about animation, like what are the steps that you have to take to proceed with a good animation. Because see, animation, I have already told, animation is just like not like an activity that you just go and draw something and then did some animation in your pen and paper. It's not like that. Okay, first of all, you have to go through some certain steps that would help you to make a better and efficient animation. So as we are learning these steps, and we all are going to apply all these animations proper I mean steps tomorrow to create a better animation. Okay, and your suggestions are always welcome. So now the first step is concept and script. So what is concept and script? So before you want to create something, you should have an idea about it. Okay, so what you are going to do, like before starting the animation, you should have a concept and a script as well. So what are the concept? I have mentioned some key points about the concept. Like you should ask yourself, who is your target audience? Like if you are making some videos, if you are making some videos for uh, a student of level from class 1 to class 5, for example, then you should understand, you should keep in your mind that they are your audience. So what kind of animation you should prepare to make them understand what you're going to convey them. Okay. Next is coming, what is that one big problem your product could solve? Like you are showing some mathematical animation, or you could some showing some history animation. So you should keep in mind that your animation is solve such kind of problems, like giving a mathematical solutions. Okay. So now, what is the goal of the video? Like if you're putting that animation to the students, what are the benefits that you are going to get? Okay, what are the benefits the student are going to get? So you should keep all these things in your mind. Okay, the core theme, what is the core theme upon which your video is built? Like everything is built on some theme. You must be familiar with this word theme, because whenever competition happens, even our this program Jigyasa Mahasab is built on science theme, putting the theme as science. So you can build. You have already attended some previous sessions on these themes only. So next is, what is the key learning expected from the video? Okay, you are putting some video. What do you want them to learn from that video? You are putting some message inside the video. So is that message is properly conveyed to that video? So you have to keep in all these things in your mind before you start doing the animation. That is called concept. Okay, and script, you have to note down all these things. Better if you take the screenshot of these things, it would be better for you. And next is coming the script. So first point is, forget what you are good at, focus on what the viewers want. Okay, maybe you are very good at something, but exactly the viewers, whoever you are going to convey that message, convey that animation, they are not interested to doing that. For example, if you are providing something like um, uh, anatomy of a human at a high level to the basic students, then they're getting bored with that things. That's why you should be understanding the things that what the viewers want, and considering the length, keep it short, because script you should not be that long. Okay, do the unexpected, surprise your audience. Like do something, like we see some cartoons like Ben 10, Chota Bheem, we are always curious to see the next thing, because we know that something unexpected is going to happen. So they create the animation in such a way. So whatever you are going to create the animation, that should be like that. Okay, it should be something unexpected. The audience are not the viewers are not expecting something, so it should be like this. Okay, the next point is communicate effectively, grab the attention, because whatever you are going to convey the message, it should be crystal clear. Okay, it should not be like if the viewers are searching for that message. No, it's not like that. The script, whatever you are going to say inside the animation, it should be clear. And the connect emotionally, that means the emotion should be there. Okay, the script, uh, whatever the animating character going inside the video, it should connect the viewer's point emotionally. Okay, tell stories. Sometimes it is not necessary that you have to and the character are speaking always. It's not necessary, but in between that you can tell some stories about like there's a queen and king. They were living in some position. So some stories should be there. Be conversational. It should, I mean, you already knows about it, and simplify your core message, wrap up tightly. So these are the very basic point. There are other points as well, but I find these points are very common and effective. That's why I put it here. I would like to, to request the student to get a screenshot of this so that they can use it tomorrow. Okay. Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. So next point is storyboard. This is the, I better say this is the brain of the animation. So if you are going to do something better in animation, your storyboard should be proper and fine. Okay. So what exactly a storyboard is? Storyboard is more likely a comic. Okay. So where uh, if anyone sees a comic, you have previously attended the workshop on comic, you might get an idea of it. So while we read the comic, we get a better idea of the scenes and the mm, climax and the emotions and everything. Just reading the comics and seeing the picture on the comics. Okay, so before we start doing anything about animation, we just create some picture and how long the picture is going to happen in the animation video. So that exactly we plot that thing into part wise, and we give some information like this scene is going to occur 6 seconds, this scene is going to occur 5 seconds. So these are the things that this is actually called storyboard. So it helps the designer and voice artist and the animator to visualize things before like start animation. You have to be visualize all the aspects of the animation. So for doing that, storyboards is required, and I'm giving you a demo of a storyboard which is already prepared. See here, 6 images are there. First image, static, and some actions are there. A photograph held up clearly showing objects. So in the storyboard also the camera position are also mentioned. So first we have to show the photograph and it is for 2 seconds, right? And then in the second shot, the camera pans to follow the character. The character is moving and the camera is following that character. Okay, it should be like for 2 seconds. And again, three, third shot is begin at door, then uh, yeah, the third scene is like when the character opens the door, and it should be like the camera is zooming in uh, out of the frame so that it gives an idea, and it should be like for 2 seconds. And in the fourth frame, the character looks for objects on the shelves, sorry. So he's finding some objects in the shelves with the torchlight. So it gets a better idea about the animation, what we are going to do. Okay, and it should be for 3 seconds. Like in the fourth scene as well, he suddenly he saw his face on the mirror in such a way that he will find himself as a ghost, and he suddenly jump away saying, "Oh my God," like that thing. So it should be of 4 seconds, and then and finally he found something that he is looking for uh, in the sixth frame. So if you calculate like 15 seconds animations is going on here, and every single seconds and minutes are divided, and the scenes and the camera position and everything is described in this six. So I hope you got a better idea how to do what is this actually storyboard is saying, and you can prepare by your own such kind of animation. Okay, so this is all about the storyboard, and I'm repeating once again, storyboard. If your storyboard is good, your animation is good. If your storyboard is not good enough, your animation won't look good, because I already mentioned this is treated like a brain of the animation. Okay, so this is the most important part. Next, coming to the environment and the character design. So environment and the character design is also again a very important topic in the animation, because the character that you are moving, that is going to move in the animated video, is the most important thing, because he is going to play the animated video, and he is going to attract the I mean attract the viewers point. So we have to design the character first, and it's a very time consuming process as well. So as our mentor Tariq sir already mentioned, how we can do such kind of design such kind of things. So this character is drawn in a 2D vector, and all the hands and his hair parts and all the weapon that he's holding is designed separately and putting together to build an character. And the background was also very important, and we are discussing these things because we are going to apply all these things together. And background is also very important, because I'm in the next slide, I'll be giving you some ideas about the background, how it play a crucial role in the animation. See, this is a character. Can you name the character? I would like to uh, see some comments. Yeah, exactly. Dora. His name is Dora. So he is standing, right? And he is standing in a white background. In a white background. So nothing say the if you are given to explain these pictures, you can say that Dora is standing and thinking about something. That's all, and nothing else. And if I say, see, now what kind of explanation? The explanation can change. The background can explain change the explanation. See, now you can suggest some ideas. What uh, yeah, at a lake, and he's thinking about to jump inside the lake, and he's in, I mean, chutti, so he come in the enjoying the morning. Yeah, so see how the background is changing the perception of the animation. Okay, next, see, he's inside the room. Any ideas from your end? I'd like to see some comments, please. And maybe it looks like he's waiting for the homework, and he just at her house. Yeah, he just came to from schools, and he's preparing. She will be preparing for her homeworks and all. See how the background is changing. Yeah, chilling and watching TV. Yeah, like that. So next, see. So she is in the road. Okay, maybe she is ready to go to schools or waiting for the school bus to come, like that. So that is the main role of the background. So that is very important. Okay, see, she is in the garden ready to pluck some flowers and all. So next come the voiceover thing. So voiceover is another most important thing. Every single steps. That's why I told you to make the screenshot of it, because voiceover is a very important thing. See, voiceover makes the animated character into life. When the animated character talks, then it feels like a real thing, like real human. So whatever the animation till today, like the very common like Chota Bheem, Motu Patlu, Kung Fu Panda, they're very popular. And if they only move without a voice, then no one will see them. Okay. So some points that should be kept in your mind before you start doing the voiceover things. Your process must be clear, okay, at the point of time. Like uh, and the voiceover talks the specific object. Like whenever you are talking a voiceover is talking about some objects, that should be clearly visible in the animated character in the animated video. Okay, so that is one more important point. And another is the voiceover and the animation should be properly synced. It's not like that कि यहाँ पे लिप सिंक नहीं हो रहा है, उसके बाद फिर इट्स नॉट लाइक द वॉइस कहीं और जा रहा है, एनिमेशन कहीं और जा रहा है. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. इट शुड बी properly synced. Okay, then voice should feel the emotion of the character and think himself as the character. Okay, so if you are giving a voiceover to some character, for example, if you are giving a voiceover to Mickey Mouse, okay, you should think like a Mickey Mouse. What exactly at what that point, what would be the reflection of the Mickey Mouse? So if you have to think on his perspective, and then only you can give a good voice over. The age and the pitch of the voice artist should be maintained. Okay, so it's not like कि बच्चे आ गए और यहाँ पे बड़े आदमी बात कर रहे हैं. So if you put a child, then your voiceover should be from the child end only. Okay, or if you are putting a male character, your voiceover should be from the male character only. So these are the some important points that you should keep in your mind. Next is animation. This is the most time consuming part for the process of animation. Like we have designed the character, we have designed the background, we have designed the storyboard, and we have designed the concept, scripting, and everything is done. So now we have to move the character according to the script, according to the concept. So that's very important. So here in the example, you can see we are moving a image by his hand, we are moving his head, we are moving his hand and all. So this is the most time consuming process, and that's why you have to give the animator should think, I mean, in his a creative space. Okay, otherwise if anytime if you're like reading now and you just come to do the animation, no, it's not like that. You have to be uh, properly creative. You have to be placed in properly creative space so that you can do the better result for this. Okay, so next part, and that is the final part, that is sound effect. Like you better do one thing. You just search some videos in from the YouTube where animation without sound effect, then you will get some videos, and that is very interesting. Then you won't get attracted towards those videos. Why? Because some sound effect, when the some ghost is, for example, ghost is coming and the sound effect is coming from the background, then it feels more real. Okay, and if the like Tom and Jerry is running after one another and another sound effect is coming after that, so that makes the animation more real. So these are the few steps that makes your animation more real. So, and yeah, one more thing is that the volume of the sound are also should be maintained, because कहीं पे वॉल्यूम ज़्यादा चाहिए तो वहाँ पे ज़्यादा प्रोवाइड करना पड़ेगा, और कहीं पे अगर कम चाहिए तो वहाँ पे कम हम प्रोवाइड करेंगे. So it's after doing all these things and the magic happens in the animation and it feels like real. Okay, and the final things after doing all the steps, the final thing is render. Final render. So in the render things, what happens exactly? You can see hand-drawn pictures comes into a life. Okay, so it's a huge process, and that will be more. I mean, that will be explained tomorrow. And after this, everything we do the previous steps. So the render process that will be explained by our mentors. And hopefully this is all about the sessions today, and hopefully you get a good idea about animation, and this is exactly a theory classes, and so we want to educate you towards the animation and what exactly animation is, how we are proceeding with the animation, what is the history of animation. These are all about this. So hands-on training will be tomorrow from 11 onwards. So uh, I would like to request my colleague Tariq sir to show a video that we are going to do such by tomorrow.
Yeah, Asif. So I would like to show the video that
It should not be video. You just show the trailer of the video so that they get an
yeah,
idea of it.
yeah.
please.
Ashif, in the meantime, there are two questions. So Nagamanish is asking, do we have any software for background and character designing?
Thank you.
Yes, you can. We can design it in as we have mentioned, like in Photoshop and Illustrator as well. And there are lots of application in the Play Store as well, free application. And I cannot some Pixel Loop and some other app as well. So we can we can draw the background by ourselves, and you can put it in the pictures. And for drawing the background also, we can use the paint also of our that is given in our like computer as well. So this is the very basic tools. So I suggest to them to search such background drawing in the Play Store app. They're getting the numerous app is there to do this.
Okay. Another question, Ashif and Tariq, is that they're asking if there is for Mac OS, we have which software for animation?
For Mac, ma'am, open source softwares are available as an web application, and we can access from any web browser. And if you want for a professional software, then Adobe is also available for Mac as well. So we can, if we want to use a professional software, then we can use Adobe softwares also, and it is also available for Mac OS.
All right.
Yeah.
And I don't understand the last question, but I'll still read out. Maybe the mentors can understand it. So the question is, what about color? I think they would like to know what kind of
Okay.
color palette one
Oh
can
yeah,
select
yeah,
when
yeah,
building
yeah, yeah.
animations,
Yes,
right?
yes. So that's a very important question actually. Color is the most important part of any visual artist, not only animation. Whatever we see on a piece of paper or on a computer screen nowadays, everything should be in color, right? So that combination you have to learn, and it is a very big topic. So it is not like that combination of color you can do by watching a simple artwork, and you can put the same color combination in another artwork. So that actually every color has its own emotion. So like the green color has its own emotion, the red color has its own emotion, the violet, the black, every color has its own emotion, and each and every scene plays an important role according to the use of color. So color exactly is the I would like to say that color will play the main role of any animation, main role, because there are different types of animation like line art animation. There are available. There are sketch animation available. There are fully colored animation also available. But different types of animation plays different kind of roles. So color actually plays a very important role according to the requirements and according to the requirement of the story. Suppose if we are creating a horror animation, horror animated story or something like that. Suppose we have created a storyboard and it is a horror story. So there we will have to put very minimal color so that it get so that that color give us that kind of means environment so that we are watching a horror animation movie, or suppose we want to create a funky animated movie Chota Bheem and all. So those are very pop-up colors they are using for those kind of animations. So color plays a very important role, and it will take time for everyone, and it take lots of practice and rehearsal before gaining the complete knowledge of color. So it will take lots of time to get the proper knowledge of color in any creation means, not only animation, in a simple artwork also.
Right. That sounds wonderful. Thanks, Tariq. So maybe you can proceed with the last section of today's mentoring session.
Yeah, ma'am. So I would like to give a small video which we will be learning tomorrow. Just an example. Okay, so this is a small animation which we'll be doing tomorrow, and it is completely done in an open source software called Animaker. So we will hands-on tomorrow on this software, and you will be able to learn a lot of new thing, and it is very user-friendly. So hope so you will like it. So this much for today. Thank you, ma'am.
Right. So thanks a lot, Tariq and Asif, for taking us through this wonderful world of animation. There
Most
is a lot of creative content that one can generate at several levels of complexity, as we have seen during today's discussion. Our first mentor also told us about how do we apply those concepts in a very scientific context, right? So I think we should all give a big round of applause to our mentors as well as for thank them for taking out their time and sharing their skills with us. So guys, what we are going to do tomorrow is we are going to look at, we'll begin our day as Tariq told you at 11 a.m. tomorrow. And the first thing we'll do is we'll look at one of the applications of animation, and I'll be giving a very brief demonstration on how we have used animation in developing a game. And it's a scientific game. So we'll go through that initially so that you understand how animation once developed, how it actually works inside a gaming application. So animation can be used in multiple different contexts. You can make videos, you can make cartoon movies, you can actually make games. So we thought it will be interesting for you to give a more context dependent exercise. Since you are also going to submit your entries for this competition, it'll also give you some ideas on what you can actually do in that direction. Of course, you're free to do anything else that you wish to based on the themes and what the experts have been telling you for past 2 weeks. So, and the other thing is for tomorrow, please use the YouTube link that is available on the Jigyasa website. And for some of you who are here on the WebEx today with us, as you can see, Wafia has given us links for WebEx tomorrow. So use this and please join in. We look forward to meeting you tomorrow again. And tomorrow is going to be more hands-on. So keep your computers and your mobiles fully charged and ready. So as and when Tariq and Ashif are doing it, we can also try doing it simultaneously. So it will really give us a better hands-on control on how much can we achieve. And depending on if you have questions, if there are problems you are facing while you are generating content for competition, do let us know so that we can help you out by having the experts again on a call with you so that you can ask and clarify your doubts. So Shreya is asking, which apps will we use tomorrow? So Shreya, like a movie teaser, we have shown you what it is going to be tomorrow. There are things that, it's like surprise. So come tomorrow and learn. Read about what you can read online today. Go back, brush up your concepts, what has been taught today by the experts. And we'll reveal some of the details tomorrow so that we can see you back here. And I'm very thankful specifically to all the YouTube video viewers as well as people who have joined us on WebEx. You have been very consistent and very engaged. So thanks for taking the webinar seriously. So with that, on behalf of all the organizing team of the Jigyasa VL, I would like to thank you. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And we are looking forward to a very exciting Sunday morning. So please be available.
Yeah, Anshu, and one more. Bhaskar and Arvind also. Animul, who's here. I think
Yes.
Gaurav who's here. And yeah, we all.
Yes.
Have a good
So,
time.
yes, everyone enjoy yourself and we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Great. Thanks.
Thank you.